Hello students, I welcome you all to this virtual learning online platform. In the previous video, you have studied tense in general and more specifically, I talked about simple tense, in which I discussed various forms of verbs like V1, V2, V3, V4, V5, and the future form with the help of shall and will. Now, in this class, I would like to talk on aspects in English. As far as aspect is concerned, it actually refers to the state of an action of a verb. In English, there are four types of aspects. They are: number one, simple aspect; number two, progressive aspect; number three, perfect or perfective aspect; number four, perfect progressive aspect. Now, one thing you need to remember while studying this particular aspect of English grammar, when I say simple aspect, it means I'm talking about simple tense, like simple present tense, simple past tense, simple future tense. When I say progressive aspect, it means I'm talking about present continuous tense, past continuous tense, future continuous tense. Then you have perfective aspect. It means it is like the present perfect tense, past perfect tense, and future perfect tense. Similarly, you have perfect progressive aspect. It means the present perfect continuous tense, past perfect continuous tense, and future perfect continuous tense. So this is how you need to correlate with all the types of tenses that you have studied in the course of your education. Now you see here, I would like to proceed further with the first aspect. Only terminology is going to be changed. Whatever we have learned in the school, the same is going to be processed over here. I hope you understood this particular point. Now I would like to talk about simple aspect. What do I mean to say when I say simple aspect? It means simple present tense, simple past tense, and simple future tense. Only the terminology is different. Whatever terminology that you have adopted in the school is slightly changed over here, and now you are going to learn in the context of all these new terms. So let us look at the very first example provided on your screen. It's a very simple sentence having only 4 words. He goes to school. I think there is no problem in understanding the meaning of this sentence. You have the third person singular number, he, functioning as the subject of the sentence. There is a main verb, go, go. It has been applied with es suffix because the sentence is provided in the present tense. The subject of the sentence is third person singular number, and according to the yes formula or es formula, we need to apply es or s suffix to the main verb. Since this go demands es suffix, so accordingly we have already applied over here. He goes to the school. To school is the adverbial of place. Where does he go? He goes to school. So you are getting the answer for where, and that's why this to school functions as the adverbial of place. So it's a simple formula here. Subject plus V1, generally we call it V1, but here actually we have used, already in the previous lecture I told you about V1, V2, V3, V4, V5, right? So this comes under that V5. But still, as far as the writing patterns are concerned, we still do write V1, right? And then the other elements as required. So in this example, we used adverbial, but otherwise you can also use object or complement as you define your own sentence. Then you have another sentence here from the same category, that is simple aspect. That is the past simple aspect. Past simple aspect means simple past tense, for your better understanding. He went to school. See, I'm going to repeat the content of the sentence here so that you will be able to understand the difference between the aspects. What has gone through a change? Once you change the tense, only the verb form will change. He goes to school, simple present tense. He went to school, simple past tense. So this goes, that is the S form of go. And what is the past form of go? Went. So go, went, gone, going, goes, will go. These are the various forms of the verb go. So here, one simple change we have made, that this go is converted into went, because went is the past form of the verb. So the sentence is, he went to school. And this is the past simple aspect, mind it well. Is it a progressive aspect? Is it a perfective aspect? No. It is a simple aspect. But since the V2 is used, so it will be called past simple aspect. If you use the present form of the verb, it will be called present simple aspect, as in the first case, he goes to school. Then you have the third sentence here, he'll go to school. This is the simple aspect, but in which tense? It is in future tense, and that's why it will be called future simple aspect. First of all, you try to analyze this sentence. He'll go to school. See the changes here. The changes have come only in the form of the verb. Goes is the yes form of go. It is in present tense. Went is the V2 form of the verb go. So it is in past tense, simple past tense. Will go, already I told you, according to the modern and traditional grammarians, this will or shall help us to make the future tense. And accordingly, this will is going to help you to make the sentence in the simple future form of simple future tense. So you say, he'll go to school. Will go. Will go. Will is the future tense indicator according to the new perception. And according to the traditional grammarians, this will is the future tense maker. So whatever you call it, whether it is an indicator or a maker, but it is definitely helping us to make a future tense. And so here you have a sentence. He will go to school. This will go indicates that will is the future tense maker or indicator. Go is the V1, that is the base form of the verb. So here you have he working as the subject, third person, singular number. You can apply some name also. Gayatri goes to school. Ganesh went to school. Okay. Kalyan will go to school. You can apply any name, no problem at all. But once you apply a name of a boy or a girl, you will find that still that subject remains third person singular number. But suppose I apply the first person. We go to school. Then you will not be able to use this S or ES form of the verb. Because I and we are the first person singular and plural number respectively. So when I say I go to school, we go to school. Suppose I want to use it for second person. I want to use it for you. Then I will say you go to school. Right? You go to school. This S or ES suffix will not be applied there in the case of the first person and second person. Suppose you want to say about many number of boys or girls going to school and you want to say they go to school, mind it well. They is also a third person, but that is a plural number. In that case, you need not apply S or ES suffix to the main verb. It is applied only in the case of the singular subject that should be a third person. Third person, singular number. Instead, you can use the personal pronouns like he, she, it, right? Or else you can go for a proper noun also, not an issue at all. A common noun also, not an issue at all. The boy goes to school. The girl goes to school. Students go to school. See, here I use some common nouns. So accordingly, the changes will take place in the presence of or the form of the verb. Mind it. Right? So you need to remember that there is a better connection between the form of the subject and form of the verb. That is called subject-verb agreement. Depending on the form of the subject, you need to apply the form of the verb. And once you understand that subject-verb agreement, automatically you will keep changing the forms of the verbs in the respect of the subject. So here you have the first aspect called simple aspect. He goes to school, simple aspect, but in the present tense. He went to school. It is also a simple aspect, but in the past tense or past form. And then you have he will go to school. This is also a simple aspect, but in the future form. How did you identify the present, past, or future? You identified present based on the form of the verb goes. You have go plus es as a suffix, and that is possible only in the present tense, right? Base form plus yes or es. That is happening only in the case of present tense. You have went here in the second sentence. Went is the past form of the word go. Go, went, gone. So went is the second form, that is the V2, and that's why it is called a past tense. And then you have future tense maker or indicator shall and will. So here you have will. So it indicates that this is in the future tense. So will plus V1, that is the base form of go. So it is in the future but simple aspect. So this way you can look at the simple aspects in English grammar. Now I'll talk about the progressive aspect. First of all, you need to remember what do you mean by progressive aspect. Progressive means continuous. One simple word you remember. Because you studied in your school present continuous tense, past continuous tense, future continuous tense. These are the terms that you have used in your school. But I am slightly making a change there, and instead of using the word continuous tense, I am using the word progressive aspect. Only the terminology is changed. The fundamentals or the basic remain the same. There is no change at all. The same sentence I will continue over here also, so that you can make a difference between the simple form and the progressive form. That is the simple aspect and the progressive aspect. Here you have, he is going to school. He is third person singular number functioning as subject. Is going is the verb phrase. To school is the adverbial. So is going, is there because the subject is third person singular number. He is singular. That's why I use is here. Go is the base form V1 plus ing. Whenever you are making the progressive form or the continuous form, you apply ing suffix to the base form of the verb. So go is the base form plus ing. So it is giving you the progressive sense. So based on this sentence, how can you identify the tense of the sentence? You can identify the tense of the sentence based on the verb phrase. Is going is a verb phrase. So am, is, are. These are the three auxiliaries, primary auxiliaries or to be auxiliaries in English, which are in present tense. Am, is, are. Suppose I say, I am going to school. This is a present tense. Now I am saying, he is going to school. It is also in present tense. Suppose I want to say about many number of students, they are going to school. Now you see here, they is the plural form, right? Third person, plural form. So I have to use are there. I cannot use am or is. Am is followed only by I. We is followed by the plural form of the subject. Suppose I say, we are going to school. You are going to school. They are going to school. So are is there because we, the second you and they, all these are in the plural form. Whereas I, the first you for singular person or single person, or he, she, it, these are in the singular form. So I is always followed, I is always, coming with am. I am going to school. You are going to school. He or she is going to school. They are going to school. We are going to school. So this way, you need to remember the subject-verb agreement while using certain form of the verb over there. So am, is, are. These are the three primary auxiliary verbs or to be auxiliary verbs which are in present form. Okay. So based on this, you can identify the tense of the sentence. Now I will switch over to the another sentence here. He was going to school. What is changed here now? If you compare the first sentence with the second. This is removed and was is applied because is in the present form, was is in the past form, because I want to make the past progressive tense, right? That is your past continuous tense. So he is the third person singular number. That's why I am using was. Suppose I would have said they were going to school, because they is the plural form, we is the plural form, you, second you is the plural form. So when I say we were going to school, then you were going to school, they were going to school. So in these three cases, subject is the plural one. So instead of was, I have used were. But when my subject is singular, suppose I say I was going to school, I am alone, so was will be applicable. Suppose I am talking about you people, you were going to school. Suppose I am talking about he or she, he was going to school, she was going to school. Likewise, the minor changes will take place over there, and an individual needs to be very careful about the subject verb agreement. The form of the verb will also decide the form of the subject and vice versa. So we need to be very careful about the form of the subject and form of the verb as well. Now you switch over to the third sentence here, that is in the future continuous tense in your term, but I would label it as future progressive aspect. He will be going to school. He is going to school, present continuous. He was going to school, past continuous. Now it is future continuous. He will be going to school. Actually, this action is yet to happen. So we are talking about the future, but the indefinite time. We are not sure this will happen or not, but we are predicting it. He remained the same here. I intentionally kept it. He will be going to school. She will be going to school. They will be going to school. I will be going to school, or I can say I shall be going to school. We will be and we shall be going to school. Both are applicable. No issue at all. But generally it is said that I and we should always be used with shall, whereas the others can be used with will. So this way you can remember this simple rule over here. But now I feel that you have understood the difference between the present progressive aspect, past progressive aspect, and future progressive aspect as well. So in general terms, you can simply say this is nothing but the continuous tense. Present continuous tense, he is going to school. Past continuous tense, he was going to school. Future continuous tense, he will be going to school. I am teaching you the same that you have been studying from your school time. But only the minor change that I am making is I am using the words like progressive instead of continuous and aspect instead of tense. This is the only change that I am doing. Otherwise, similar thing that you learned long back is being taught to you over here. Now I switch over to the last slide for the day, that is perfect progressive aspect. See the kind of change over here. You will find that the sentence remains the same for your better understanding. After the class also, you can try to make all types of tenses, all types of sentences based on this one, and you can also prepare your own sentences by taking your own examples. Here you have the present perfect progressive aspect, then the past perfect progressive aspect, future perfect progressive aspect. It means present perfect continuous tense, past perfect continuous tense, future perfect continuous tense, just slightly changed with a couple of words. That's all. See now, he has been going to school since 2015. What has been added over here? We generally add since and for, or for, I would say, whichever you want, you can use it. Since is used when you are using the point of time. And the for is used when you are using the period of time. Now you need to understand first, what do you mean by the point of time and period of time? What is a point of time? Point of time means the exact clock timing, exact date, exact day, exact year, exact month, right? If at all it is indicated, then only you can use along with since. Since, see, I can say like this, I have been teaching you English grammar since 8:45 a.m. It means I started taking your class today sharp at 8:45 a.m. onwards. Since then, I have been teaching. Suppose I want to convert it into the period of time. How can I say so? I can say in different ways. It is 9:20 now. So these 20 minutes and another 15 minutes. Then I can say, I have been teaching you English grammar for 35 minutes. See the difference between the point of time and period of time. When I give you the exact clock time, that is the point of time. So I used since. But when I'm telling you the number of minutes that I completed, I have been teaching you English grammar for 35 minutes. So this is the period of time. So period of time like seconds, minutes, days, weeks, years, millenniums. Okay, that is the period of time. So this is the difference between point of time and period of time. So here you have the first sentence, he has been going to school since 2015. Means we admitted him in the school in the year 2015. Now it is 2021. It means he has completed 6 years of his education. Suppose you want to say with for. How can you say so? He has been going to school for 6 years. Because the action started in 2015. He has been going to school for 6 years. Likewise, you can say. So he is the third person singular number. That's why we have used has here. Suppose I want to say about myself. I have been going to school since 2015. I. When I'm using I or we, have will be used, not has. Has will be used only in the case of he, she, it, third person singular number or any name for them. Geeta has been going to school since 2015. So Geeta is a third person singular number. Has is used, right? Suppose all of us are in the same class, right? Then we will say, we have been going to school since 2015. They have been going to school since 2015. So you need to remember when to use have and when to use has. So already I talked about subject to verb agreement. So you need to remember that. And you can identify whether the sentence is in present, past or future based on the very first element of the verb phrase. You can identify have and has, they are available in the present form. Had indicates past form, shall and will indicate future form. So the first sentence, as I pronounced, he has been going to school since 2015. Has is there, that's why it is in present. Have is there, it is in present. But the second sentence you see, he had been going to school for 10 years. He had been. How long he went to school? How long he went to school for a period of time, that is 10 years? He had been going to school for 10 years. So had been, this had indicates past tense. Had been going. Had, that is the to have verb. Had is in the past form. Been is again to be verb. That indicates you perfect form. Go is base form. Ing is progressive form. And that's why it has become perfect progressive aspect. Similarly, you see, when you present the same kind of structure in the future perfect progressive aspect or form, then you need to remember that you should mention the time related to the future. In June, he will have been going to school for 6 years. So this June, how many years he is going to complete over that? 6 years. right? So in June, he will have been going to school for 6 years. So this is how you need to organize your structured sentences in different aspects. So how many aspects are there in English? There are 4 aspects: simple aspect, progressive aspect, perfect aspect, and perfect progressive aspect. So this is what you learned today, as I would like to show you the very first slide when I started with this one, and it clearly indicates that there are 4 types of verb aspects, or else you can say aspects of English tenses. You can say aspects of English also, no issue. But here you will find that there are 4 in number. 1, the simple aspect; 2, progressive aspect; 3, perfective aspect; and the 4th one is the perfect progressive aspect. So simple, progressive, perfective, perfect progressive. These are the 4 types of aspects as such, and we need to learn in this respect. So in the next class, I will talk about the use of all these 4 types of aspects.